With most Eagles players now on vacation, taking their time, getting ready for training camp, the Detroit Free Press did catch up with All-Pro cornerback Darius Slay and asked him about the reunion with his former head coach, Matt Patricia. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about Akbar backing up his claim or walking back from his claim that Derrick Henry was going to join the Philadelphia Eagles. And lastly, I want to talk about a former Philadelphia Eagle that may now be the new co-host for Undisputed. So let's talk about it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today, I want to talk about Akbar, talking about the Derrick Henry trade that never happened. I want to talk about what Darius Slay said about his new assistant coach, right, Matt Patricia, coming on down to Philadelphia. And lastly, I do want to talk about the former Philadelphia Eagle who seems to be ready to be the new co-host for Skip. And it's going to be interesting. I'll say that much. We did talk about it before, but it looks like it's confirmed. Now, before we get into that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 10K. I would love for you guys to join that ride. So let's hop right into it. So I want to start with Akbar. So Akbar, he's the host of American Ninja Warrior. He used to play football, if I'm not mistaken. He used to, report for NBC. So he was on the Rich Eisen show, and Rich Eisen asked him about it, and he basically walked back his claims, which I'll play the clip right now. Shout out to Eagles Nation for putting this clip out on Twitter, but here's the clip.
I had a very credible source, and I do believe that I actually messed up this trade because it wasn't supposed to come out.
Oh, really?
And so I didn't realize that A, anybody would be paying attention. B, I didn't think that I wasn't supposed to say it. So I just said, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead. I wasn't trying to compete with Ian Rappaport and, and all the other guys.
This is a great pivot saying that you weren't incorrect. You were correct, but so influential.
Right.
You blew up the actual trade that never happened that you said was going to happen. That is impressive, Akbar.
Let me tell you something. Howie Roseman could have made it happen. We saw what he did with Jalen Hurts. He made that work, right?
Oh, no, of course.
We saw what he did with A.J. Brown. He made that work.
He could have had it.
This could have happened, but I think because I got out ahead of it and it just blew up, I just I blew up the scene. It didn't happen. Now, remember, the trade deadline, there's still an opportunity for this to happen. But
this year you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen right now. This is why I haven't taken it down, because I felt like, to be honest with you, I said, okay, well, I blew this one. This didn't happen the way it was supposed to, but
yes,
I should have taken it down. But in my heart, because the source, and you know the source. You absolutely know the source. And this is a name that you see all the time. I just want to say to the thousands of Twitter followers that I have, and to all the people, the millions watching the Rich Eisen show.
Thank you.
I want to take this time to apologize for misleading the public. I should have tweeted this knowing for sure that it was going to happen, regardless if, how he could have changed his mind at the last minute.
So basically, he's doubling down, right? He's saying that he had a source. He's saying that it's somebody that everybody knows, a very reliable, credible source that says that the Eagles were going to go ahead and trade for Derrick Henry. Also goes on and says that it still could happen. Who knows? He's not, throwing it out of the realm of possibilities. The part that he lost me, I'm going to be 100% honest, the part that he lost me is when he started saying, maybe I got a little bit too ahead of it. Maybe I blew it up. I mean, look, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. I don't think no offense to him, I don't think the host of American Ninja Warrior is stopping or starting any trades for Howie Roseman. It's going to be very interesting to see, though, if by trade deadline. Now, look, the Eagles obviously have a pen of running backs that they probably feel really good about. But if you see, 3 games, 4 games into this season that, hey, our running backs just aren't getting the job done and we need to make it shake because everything else is working around it, why wouldn't they make some type of move? The Eagles have done such before, right? I mean, obviously Jay Ajayi is probably a totally different situation than what a Derrick Henry would be, especially about draft capital, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's funny that he kind of walked back on it, but he also backed himself up. Like, he was not backing up. He was not giving up. He was saying, hey, I left it up there. Maybe I should have deleted it. Maybe you should have, but you didn't. So it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you think that there's any world where Derrick Henry comes to the Philadelphia Eagles even before maybe the trade deadline? Let me know down in the comments. Now, next, I do want to talk about Darius Slay. So a lot of Eagles fans already know the situation with Darius Slay and Matt Patricia. Now, if you don't, there was 2 different incidences, I guess we can say, that Darius Slay just felt disrespected from Matt Patricia. One time, he basically told him he would never be a all-pro or Pro Bowler, and that was followed up by 2 Pro Bowl seasons by Darius Slay, 2 all-pro seasons if I'm not mistaken. And you know, he also said something along the lines of it, just basically disrespecting his manner, disrespecting him in a way that you don't want to be disrespected. That obviously keyed the trade that happened with the Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit. We were able to go ahead and get Darius Slay, something that I think that to this day is paying huge dividends. Obviously, only having to give up some mid-round picks for the guy, it is huge. It was a huge trade for the Philadelphia Eagles. So when I heard that Matt Patricia was coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, or that it was even a possibility, I was a little bit worried, and I think a lot of Eagles fans were as well. We didn't know what to expect. Obviously, with Matt Patricia, you do get a very decent, a very good, I'm not going to sit here and hate on him. He's a very good defensive mind, a guy that I think will help Sean Desai, will help some of these assistant coaches just kind of get their feet wet, kind of get going. You look back when the Eagles had Doug Peterson, right? What did Doug Peterson do? He surrounded himself with veteran coaches. He surrounded himself with guys that knew more than him, and I'm glad to see Nick Sirianni kind of doing the same. He's not a defensive guy. He worries about the offense, right? So it's good to see him strapping up on that defensive side and saying, let's get as many minds as we possibly can to kind of make that defensive side tick, right? So I want to go over what Darius Slay said. Now, Detroit Free Press did catch up with him at a charity event, so this is what he had to say. Darius Slay did say that the meeting was cordial when they first met, but he said, it's just another day in the office, Slay told the newspaper while at Calvin Johnson's charity golf tournament in Michigan. We both got the same goal, just going out there to compete and win a championship. So that's the main focus. That's what you love to hear. You want to hear Darius Slay putting his, his past to the side, and I'm hoping Matt Patricia as well, putting their egos, putting their past to the side, and wanting to fight for a main goal, or a common goal, I should say, right? That championship. If we can go out there and win a championship, I've said this before, man, and I've said this about a number of different situations, but winning cures all. If we can go out there and win, I'm sure that they'll be hugging after the Super Bowl's over. So I love to hear what I heard, and I want to know what you guys feel. Are you worried at all with Matt Patricia being here? Do you think that that's going to be anything to worry about in the future or in this season? I personally don't necessarily. I think that, look, Darius Slay is a grown man. Darius Slay knows what he wants at this point in his career, and I think that this team is too strong as far as their culture already in set that I don't think one person can really ruin that. So I'm not too worried, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think that Matt Patricia is going to be a problem? Let me know down in the comments. Now, lastly, this one is something that we talked about before. So former Philadelphia Eagles running back, one of my favorite players of all time. I'm going to be 100% blunt with that. Obviously, Brian Westbrook was the running back that I came into watching football, and he was kind of the guy that got me going into the Eagles and everything with McNabb and all that. But LeSean McCoy was just fun to watch. McCoy was the closest, in my opinion, that I've seen to a Barry Sanders, and Barry Sanders is probably my favorite running back of all time, regardless of team. So LeSean McCoy seems like he's going to be a part of Undisputed. I haven't seen an official announcement, but Skip went ahead on Twitter and said that they are coming back, that Undisputed will be back very soon, and that he missed everybody. And it was retweeted by LeSean McCoy, and LeSean McCoy also tweeted earlier, I don't know if he got it deleted, I'm going to try and find it by the time I post this, but he said that he was nervous. He basically said, pray for me, or wish me luck, something along those lines. I'm going to try and find it. And then that was followed up by him retweeting Skip saying that the Undisputed is coming back, and he basically said, yes, sir, and it seems like LeSean McCoy is now going to be opposite of Skip. I might have to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to watch a couple shows. Like, this was probably, it was between him, Emmanuel Acho, I believe, was one of the candidates. Joy Taylor, I believe, was one of the candidates. I feel like they just wanted to get the whole Speak crew. But at the end of the day, it does look like LeSean McCoy is going to be that guy. And I'm excited to see how he goes at Skip, especially on those Eagles versus Cowboys games. This is something I think a lot of Eagles fans are excited for, and I think there's nobody better than LeSean McCoy right now, at least in broadcast, to represent us. So I'm excited for him, and I said this in the video I made about him possibly joining the show. I did say that it worries me. I don't want him to be sitting there getting chumped by Skip Bayless. I want him to have his own voice. But I did also say that this is going to be a huge step for his career. So shout out to Shady McCoy, man. I look, one of my favorite players, you know, so I'm happy that he's growing in any way that he can post football. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I know that has nothing to do with anything, you know, that we're talking about, but I hope, and I hope that Skip sees this. I hope that you respect Shady, like respect Shady, because you lost Shannon because you had no respect. You didn't know how to separate work from relationships, right? Learn how to do that with Shady, man, because if you disrespect Shady, I can guarantee you Philly will be on that butt. We will come for you. Pause. We will come for you, dog. I don't want to see you disrespecting my guy at all, but I want to know what you guys think. If it is to be what it seems to be, and LeSean McCoy is going to be the new co-host, are you going to watch? What are you going to watch for? I might only honestly watch when they talk about the Eagles and Cowboys, to be 100% honest. I don't really watch much TV, so it's going to be clips. But either way, I'm excited for him. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Other than that, we are about to get out of here, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe if you guys enjoyed this content. And as always, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Peace.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph.